Mower Mike here at Texas HQ, and boy, I'm excited. We finally got done with the last mow of the season. The grass finally stopped growing out here. I've been doing some serious mowing. As you see, I got my safety gear on. We were hitting the bar ditches earlier today. But what do we do now? I'm not going to mow for probably another 6, hopefully 7 months. So we got to put this old girl up, and I want to make sure that when I go back to start her, that she's good to go. So I'm going to do a winterization video here. What you should do for any long-term 4-cycle motor. We're going to hit the fuel, oil, and battery. What should you do? So first off, this is going to be unlike any other winterization video you got. She's pretty shiny, isn't she? Because I've tried all these ethanol fuel stabilizers, all this crap, and it doesn't work. I mean, my fuel goes bad. I don't know. North Texas got bad fuel after 6 months. So I stopped doing that. I've had years of bad fuel. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you how to get all the fuel out of this. It's very simple, it's cheaper. I'm not trying to push all this winterization crap. Just get the fuel out, and that way you start fresh, and then we'll go on to the battery and oil. So let's move on to the rear end of this old girl and drain her out. All right, so we're around the back end here, and now we're gonna show you how to easily empty out the fuel tank. Now, on most regular non-zero turn riding lawnmowers, all you have to do is unhook right here at the fuel filter and get yourself a canister, funnel, and then go right in there, because typically that they will be bottom fed, where essentially you'll have your outlet for the fuel in the bottom of the gas tank, and that way it just sucks it straight down. Now on this one here, it's a little trickier. I would not have picked this model if I did this again, but as you can see, the suction is at the top of the fuel tank. So when we unhook it, due to physics, there's nothing coming out. So we actually have to siphon this old girl out a little bit. Now I've got this siphon tube, so you can suck on this thing. I have done that in my earlier years, but now I'm a little older. So I just try to get a good seal on her, and let's see if we can get her started. Because what the suction does, you're pulling the suction, and then as soon as it gets fuel coming out of here, then you're gonna be good to go. So this just gets, it's like a starter. Look at that. All right, so you can see we've got a good suction here. I'm gonna pop that back off. Sweet. So, all right, yeah, once you get that suction going, then you're usually good to go. As you can see right here, we got fuel coming out, and I'm gonna go ahead and let that drain. The key is to keep it down below the gas tank. That way you get that drain flowage going pretty good there. So we're gonna let that drain out, and then next we're gonna move on to the carburetor, because what we've done, we're emptying out the gas tank, but we have not emptied out the bowl of that carburetor. So I'll just show you simply how to do that next. Now let's get the fuel out of the carburetor. Now the majority of your carburetors are going to have a drain on them, which makes it super simple. Just before you do this, I do suggest unhooking the negative terminal to your battery, just so you don't have any risk of fire. Also, wait till your engine's cooled off so you're not dripping it on a hot exhaust. Now, this here is a Kawasaki. You can see it's got a drain right here. It's just a Phillips head screwdriver, and we'll just see how this works. Look at that. Undo it and it starts draining. So what this does, it drains all the fuel out of your carburetor. So you don't even have to mess with all that ethanol treatment crap. And I know on the Briggs & Stratton, they're going to have a 10 millimeter screw off to the side, like right over here, that you can undo. That's a drain. In the Kohlers, you may have to take this thing off. This here is your little cutoff deal, but it is also a drain, so you can just unscrew that guy. But I think they have a drain on the Bulls too. So all you do is you just go ahead and let that carburetor drain out just like that, and you're done for the season. That is it. Now, how cool and simple is that? And just make sure you retighten it, and she has no fuel in it. Now, how easy was that? It is not that freaking complex. Drain the fuel out of your gas tank, drain the fuel out of your little drain on your carburetor, and you're good to go. You're gonna save so much hassle in the long run, because if you let that sucker sit with that ethanol gas in it for 3 months, I guarantee you she ain't gonna start. That ethanol clogs up everything. Now, if you're a premium member of Mower Mike's Garage and you're a little smarter than the average bear, what you do is you run ethanol-free fuel, which I do. So I put ethanol-free fuel in there, and if you're using ethanol-free, it's going to be good for a year. It's the ethanol that makes things go bad in the fuel. So use ethanol-free fuel. Don't even worry about doing this.
And there's a really cool website that shows all the ethanol-free gas stations. It's got a map, and I'll put a link down in the video description below. But that is all I use in my yard equipment, and dude, my life is so much easier since I started doing that. Every mower I sell comes with an ethanol-free full tank of gas. So, drain it real easy. I mean, that's your sure bet, or use ethanol-free. Now let's move on to the batteries. I swear, every single male in this country that's over 50 years old thinks they need to put a trickle charger on their battery for 8 months straight and just keep that little 1 or 2 volts in there, trickle, trickle, trickle. Just stop. Just stop that right now, because all you're doing is you're slowly frying your battery. It's not doing it any favors. The constant charge on there just destroys batteries. So what I do is I've got a battery charger. This here is an automatic battery charger. It's nothing fancy, but it does cut off when she's filled up. I just put a charge on it once or twice during the season and, in the cold winter months, just to make sure she's staying fresh, and that's it. That's all you've got to do with the battery. So fuel, battery, what's next? Oil. Well, I've got good news for all my lazy viewers. Don't change your dang oil right now. Because what's going to happen while it sits out over the next few months in all the snow and winter or whatever you guys got up north, it creates condensation inside of that engine. So your cylinder walls are going to collect condensation, which means a little bit of water is going to get in that oil. And you don't want to change your oil before that happens. So go ahead and wait, change it in the spring. That way you're able to get all that moisture out of the motor and put fresh oil in it, and you're going to be much better off. So guys, it's not that complex. You don't need these science projects like on these other videos of mixing the ethanol treatment with that treatment and running it. Just get the gas out of the motor, put a charge on it once or twice during the winter, and don't even worry about the freaking oil. And you should be good to go. It's not complicated. So with that, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm actually going to dedicate this to you, Marine Mike, in my jiu-jitsu class. You and your boys, some big fans. Boy, I tell you what, man, you choked me out this last week 3 times. So I'm bringing it this week. You better watch your 6, because Mower Mike, I'm getting a little comeback on you. So with that, please subscribe, enjoyed it, and check out our Redneck University podcast. We have an ethanol podcast. It goes off for an hour about this whole topic. So hope everybody has a good one and enjoys my new American flag out here, and we're going to keep kicking ass in the old US of A. Mower Mike out.